The laughter sliced through the soft hum of the restaurant like a blade through silk. It wasn't joyful or warm. It was loud, self-assured, meant to draw attention. Hades turned toward the man in the charcoal suit, confidence dripping from his smirk as he waved a few crisp bills between his fingers. Across from him stood a young waitress. Calm. Quiet, her expression unreadable. For a brief moment, the world around her seemed to blur. The clinking of silverware, the low murmur of conversation. Even the soothing jazz that usually filled the air. All of it vanished beneath the pounding of her heartbeat. He had laughed at her accent. Mocked her for mispronouncing a single English word. Then, with cruel amusement, he'd issued a challenge that would change everything. Serve me in English, and I'll pay you $1,000. If you believe in kindness, humility, and second chances, please take a moment to like this video, subscribe to Stories of Kindness, and share it with someone who needs a reminder that dignity is worth more than money. Her name was Ariana Velasquez, a 23-year-old server working exhausting double shifts to support her mother and younger brother back home in Guatemala. The restaurant, an elegant place called Maison de Lumière, was far beyond anything she'd imagined when she first came to the city. The guests wore tailored suits, silk dresses, and cologne that whispered wealth. Ariana, in her crisp white shirt and navy apron, often felt invisible. Except on days when someone tried to make her feel small. But she carried herself with quiet grace. Each polite smile, each steady tray she balanced, was a step toward her dream, to one day become a language teacher and open a small school in her hometown. That afternoon, sunlight streamed through crystal chandeliers, casting golden patterns across the tables. Laughter drifted through the air. Ariana approached a table occupied by Mr. Richard Collins, a real estate mogul known for his booming laugh and sharper tongue. Beside him sat his younger girlfriend, Veronica, in a striking emerald dress, and another woman, Elaine, his assistant, who watched the scene unfold with visible unease. Ariana had just stumbled over an English word while presenting the menu. Mr. Collins seized on it instantly, smirking as he leaned back in his chair. You work here and don't even speak proper English. He scoffed, waving the bills. Tell you what, sweetheart, if you can serve me properly in English, I'll give you $1,000. A few diners nearby turned to look. Some frowned, others just waited, curious to see what the young waitress would do. Ariana felt her cheeks flush. For a split second, she wanted to disappear. But then her mother's voice echoed in her mind. Don't let pride make you small, Mija. Let strength make you stand tall. So she lifted her chin, smiled faintly, and began to speak. Her English was careful, deliberate, each word a step through an invisible storm. Her accent was thick, her pace slow. Mr. Collins smirked wider, amused. Then something shifted. Ariana gently placed her tray on the table, and, in perfect French, said, "Quietest, vos qui continue en français, monsieur." The laughter stopped. Before anyone could react, she moved effortlessly into Italian, her tone melodic, her confidence unshaken. Then German, Mandarin, Arabic. Each language flowed seamlessly, her pronunciation flawless, her voice steady. The restaurant fell completely silent. Every nearby diner had turned to watch. Mr. Collins, moments earlier full of mockery, now sat frozen, his jaw slightly open, his red tie suddenly too tight. Even Veronica's hand had stopped mid-air, her wine glass trembling slightly. Finally, Ariana returned to English, her tone calm and composed. Would you prefer I continue in English, sir? Her voice held no anger, no resentment, only quiet dignity. Mr. Collins lowered the bills to the table. His smirk was gone. For a long moment, he said nothing. Then he exhaled slowly, eyes clouded with something rare for him: shame. When Ariana walked away, the table stayed silent. The man who measured life in money and power had just been reminded that true worth can't be counted in dollars. Later that day, as Ariana cleared another table, the restaurant manager approached with an envelope. "Mr. Collins asked me to give you this," he said. Inside was a check, not for $1,000, but for $10,000. Tucked beside it was a handwritten note. "For your courage, your intelligence, and the lesson I needed to learn today. Forgive my ignorance. Richard Collins." Ariana's eyes blurred with tears. Her hands trembled slightly, not from the money, but from the apology. For the first time in a long time, she felt seen. Truly seen. That night, as she walked home under the glow of city lights, reflecting on wet pavement, she thought of her mother, her brother, and the school she dreamed of building. Maybe that dream wasn't so far away anymore. She had always believed that kindness could bloom even in the coldest hearts. And that day she had proof. Weeks later, a diner's recording of the moment went viral. Millions shared the video of the humble waitress who taught a millionaire a lesson in respect. Without ever raising her voice. But Ariana remained the same. Humble, kind, steady. She still served coffee with a smile, still saved every dollar she could, still dreamed of home. Only now, she carried something more powerful than hope. Proof that grace and dignity are worth more than gold. If this story touched your heart, if it reminded you that respect and kindness cost nothing but can change everything, please like this video, subscribe to Stories of Kindness, and share it with someone who believes in humility and heart. And before you go, tell us in the comments. What would you have done if you were in Ariana's place? Would you have walked away, or stood your ground with courage and grace? Ariana's story reminds us that sometimes, the quietest voices teach the loudest lessons. In a world that often values pride over compassion, she showed that true strength speaks softly, in any language.